Sometimes what we see as our weaknesses are actually our strengths. They make us unique. These unique traits shape our perspectives and fuel our creativity. They are the essence of who we are, and they can lead us to discover our true potential. This is the story of Prachi, a girl who loved to paint. From a very young age, Prachi found solace in the world of colors. Her room was filled with sketches, paintings, and every shade of paint imaginable. She would spend hours lost in her art, creating vibrant masterpieces that reflected her vivid imagination. Prachi saw the world in colors. To her, every moment was a canvas waiting to be painted. She could see beauty in the simplest of things, and her art was a testament to her unique vision. Her paintings were not just pictures, they were stories told through hues and shades. Sunsets were fiery oranges and deep purples. Each sunset was a new palette, a new opportunity to capture the fleeting beauty of the day. Prachi would often sit by the window watching the sky transform, her fingers itching to recreate the magic on her canvas. Flowers were splashes of pink and yellow. In every petal she saw a burst of life and energy. Her paintings of flowers were not just botanical illustrations, they were expressions of joy and wonder. Each stroke of her brush brought the flowers to life as if they could leap off the canvas. She dreamed of sharing these colors with the world. Prachi wanted to show everyone the beauty she saw, to inspire others with her art. She imagined her paintings hanging in galleries, bringing smiles to faces and sparking imaginations. Her dream was to make the world a more colorful place. But Prachi had a secret fear. Her hands trembled. This tremor, which she had since childhood, made her doubt her abilities. She worried that her unsteady hands would ruin her art, that she would never be able to paint the way she envisioned. This fear held her back, casting a shadow over her dreams. Prachi hid her trembling hands. She was afraid people would laugh. One day she showed her drawings to some children. The children pointed at the shaky lines. They giggled and made fun of her art. Prachi was heartbroken. She decided to stop painting. What was the point, if people only laughed? Prachi's grandmother saw her sadness. She noticed the way Prachi's shoulders slumped and how her eyes seemed to have lost their usual sparkle. It pained her to see her granddaughter so downcast. She decided to share a story, hoping it would lift Prachi's spirits. She told Prachi a story about a king's sculptor, a tale that had been passed down through generations in their family. The sculptor's hands trembled, but he made the most beautiful statues. Each piece of art he created was a masterpiece, admired by all who saw them. His hands, though unsteady, moved with a grace and precision that seemed almost magical. Why? Prachi asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. She couldn't understand how someone with trembling hands could create such perfect statues. Why did the king choose him? Her grandmother smiled, a twinkle in her eye. She loved how inquisitive Prachi was, always eager to learn and understand. Because, she said, his trembling hands gave the statues life. The slight imperfections made them unique, made them real. The king saw the beauty in the sculptor's work, not despite his trembling hands, but because of them. Prachi thought about the story. She pondered the meaning behind her grandmother's words, reflecting on her own struggles and insecurities. Maybe her trembling hands weren't a weakness. Maybe, like the sculptor, her hands could create something beautiful, something unique. Maybe they could be her strength. With newfound determination, Prachi looked at her hands, no longer seeing them as a source of shame, but as a source of potential. She realized that her perceived flaws could be her greatest asset, just like the king's sculptor. Prachi started to paint again. After a long hiatus, she found herself drawn back to the canvas, the familiar scent of paint and the feel of the brush in her hand bringing a sense of comfort and purpose. She let her hands move freely, allowing her emotions to guide each stroke. The brush danced across the canvas, creating shapes and forms that seemed to come alive with every movement. Her trembling lines became part of her art. Each quiver of her hand added a unique texture, a raw and honest element that spoke of her journey and struggles. They made the flowers dance and the birds fly. The imperfections in her strokes gave the painting a sense of motion and life, as if the flowers were swaying in the breeze and the birds were soaring through the sky. She painted a beautiful garden, each flower, each leaf meticulously crafted yet bursting with spontaneity and vibrancy. It was full of colors and life. The garden she created was a reflection of her inner world, a place where chaos and beauty coexisted in perfect harmony. Prachi showed her painting at an art exhibition. It was a moment of vulnerability and courage, sharing a piece of her soul with the world. People were amazed by her unique style. They praised her talent, recognizing the depth and emotion in her work. Prachi finally understood that her art was not just about perfection, but about expression and connection. Our differences make us special. In her art, Prachi found a way to celebrate those differences, turning her vulnerabilities into strengths and her imperfections into beauty.